One of the biggest surprises in Boruto TBV VORTEX has just been revealed in the latest chapter, and a good amount of people have mixed feelings about it. But if you've been keeping up with the story, you would know that Himawari is now the Jinchuriki of the re-emerged Nine Tails. I'm gonna call him the Nine Tails because we don't know if this is KURAMA or another Nine Tails with a different name, memories, or things like that. But in the latest chapter, Himawari was taken to the same mental place where Naruto used to talk with KURAMA, and it seems like here the Nine Tails and Himawari will have a conversation next chapter and probably reveal how it's possible that she is the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, because honestly, even I'm still a little puzzled on how this whole situation is even possible. So that's something I'm really excited to finally figure out. But before we get into today's video, I would very much appreciate it if you would take the time out of your day to leave a like on the video, as it does help the video reach a wider audience in the YouTube algorithm. For this video, let's shoot for about 400 likes. I feel like that's a calm little goal for now. But enough talking, let's hop right into the video. So as we know so far, this has been one of the most controversial decisions by Kishimoto we've seen in TBV VORTEX yet, because it not only potentially brings back a character thought to have sacrificed himself to help Naruto in his last major battle, but it gives Himawari way more responsibility and importance in the series. I'm not opposed to the Nine Tails coming back, because I always knew the Nine Tails was going to re-emerge anyway based on statements from Naruto Shippuden. But what mostly took me by surprise is how coincidental Himawari was made as Jinchuriki right off the bat. But perhaps it wasn't a coincidence. Most likely it had something to do with Naruto and his relationship with KURAMA, or maybe it has something to do with the chakra fusion Naruto and KURAMA performed when activating Baryon mode. I feel like that's a factor you could take into account as to what influenced Himawari being chosen to be the Nine Tails' fourth Jinchuriki. But let's look at the glaring elephant in the room, and that's Boruto. You see, now that Himawari is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, that means eventually she'll be able to access KCM mode at some point down the line in the story. But what if I told you that originally it wasn't Himawari that was supposed to be the Nine Tails Jinchuriki? The planned ownership of this power was supposed to go to Boruto at first. The concept of an author changing the direction of a manga or just getting a better idea midway through and just going with that idea isn't a new thing at all. Some manga artists usually don't even have an ending in sight when they first start a story, but more like just go with the flow until he's able to visualize and write a good ending based on the current plot and narratives the story presents at the time. Well, most manga. This doesn't apply to One Piece. One Piece is planned to end within the next 2 years, and you can talk to any One Piece fan. They probably don't have a good idea yet on how the series will end. Remember this drawing of the new Team 7 by Kishimoto that was released earlier in part 1? Before even Sarada activated her MS for the first time? The Mitsuki one is a little controversial because his Sage mode was revealed rather early in the series, and I don't have the exact date this drawing was made, but we do know it was definitely made before chapter 80, in which Sarada's MS was revealed. So it looks like since early on, Sarada's MS design was planned, as well as Mitsuki's Sage mode. But what about this KCM Boruto? Is this still a concept, or was it a former concept that was scrapped? I understand why Kishimoto might want to scrap this idea if it was taken out. I'm pretty sure we all understand Boruto is just overpowered at this point. I mean, he's already strong as is. He's at least top 3 in the verse, and this is in base. When he does find a way to control his karma to a point where he can use it in a battle without any major risk, he'll be even stronger. I personally feel Boruto having KCM on top of the whole karma thing is a bit too much. It'll actually complicate things if he does have 2 imps like the karma and KCM on top of that. I can come up with a number of reasons why that probably wouldn't be the best idea to execute. While giving him KCM would be a massive imp in his overall power, you kinda have to have the Nine Tails to have access to that level of his power. So with Boruto having to deal with Momoshiki and having the Nine Tails, it kinda takes the attention off of his karma, which is a major part of Boruto's character and the direction of the story. You see how that might not make the best sense? You don't want to take any attention off Momoshiki because he's more important to the story than the Nine Tails would be, especially for Boruto. So it just doesn't fit. And I know technically you don't need the whole Nine Tails to access KCM, since the Nine Tails chakra is so immense, You only need either the yin or yang half to have this power, as seen with Minato and Naruto in the war arc, but I don't like this idea either. If Himawari is gonna have the Nine Tails, she should have access to its full power, especially if you plan to implement her into the story mode, which is probably the main reason why Kishimoto decided to give Himawari the Nine Tails instead of Boruto. I agree, Himawari can be very important to the story, and she can play a bigger role than she already does because of the potential she's shown not only in part 1, but in 2 Blue Vortex as well. Something as subtle as Himawari stating that she wants to help Boruto because she feels like something isn't right. She isn't as quick to succumb to the overwhelming influence of Ada's omnipotence. She even says she can feel her father is alive somewhere. Now her having a feeling like her father is alive and her actually feeling his chakra or something is two completely different things. But the point is that she already thinks much differently than the others. She is special nonetheless. Kishimoto made that clear to us time and time again, and the anime gave her even more propaganda as well. So it's obvious Kishimoto has big plans for her in the future of 2 Blue Vortex, and I feel like it will be a crucial role she'll have to play in order for Naruto to be freed later down the road. Since she has no hostility towards Boruto, I could see her working with her brother or at least supporting him in some way, and right now Boruto needs all the help he can get. So yeah, I really do expect the next couple of chapters to be focused on Himawari gaining knowledge on certain events, like meeting up with Boruto and him explaining what the Shinju are and the truth about their mother and father, or it'll be just her learning about herself, how she inherited the power of the Nine Tails, about the new emerged Nine Tails, and how to access or control his power in battle like her father. So giving Himawari the Nine Tails and letting her be the main source of that power fits way better than Boruto hogging all of the power. She could probably distribute some KYUUBI power to Boruto in case he needs it against the Shinju or something, similar to how Naruto shared his chakra with the entire allied shinobi forces. And this is only because Boruto can't take the risk of using his karma right now and fearing he'll lose control again. So a temporary KYUUBI imp on top of Boruto's strength would be more than enough. It gives Boruto the extra power he might need without completely diminishing his character, because too much of something could be a bad thing, and in this case it would be. It could help anyone, I might add. I think people underestimate how strong Naruto's KYUUBI chakra made everyone's jutsu during the war, and on top of that, giving Himawari the full power of the Nine Tails and her having the Byakugan could be a crazy combo. Having any dojutsu with tail beast levels of chakra is something that would be very interesting to see. Like imagine Sasuke having his EMS Sharingan and his 6-pass Rinnegan, as well as being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Like, you have to admit that would be pretty broken. But of course it would be different for Himawari because her Byakugan is nowhere near as powerful as Sasuke's dojutsu, right? Now, I'm not saying that Boruto somehow getting access to the KCM is impossible. I'm just saying that I like the idea of Kishimoto scrapping it because I don't think it fits into the story. It doesn't ruin the story, but it'll be really hard to write around. So Boruto having his karma imp would be more than good enough for him. Until he learns how to control his karma, he really doesn't need another source of power, or if he ever gains access to his JOUGAN. For now, I would say he's good where he's at. And I talked about this for a long time. I'm not giving up on this theory, but maybe Kishimoto isn't giving Boruto KCM because maybe some Mount Miyaboku trading is in wait for him. He's really close to Kashin Koji, who already knows how to perform Sage Jutsu to a perfected level, and you should be able to fight the Shinju using high levels of nature energy. That always has been a weakness for the 10 Tails since late Shippuden, so hopefully we could see Boruto exploiting that potential weakness in the near future. Besides the Karma Seal, the only imp I will allow Boruto to have is definitely Sage Mode. Nothing else could possibly fit into the story as easily. But back to Himawari, her wanting to help Boruto and get granted this power definitely helps her reach her goal. But I'm not saying now that she has access to KCM she can go toe to toe with the Shinju. I'm saying she could be a very good asset to Konoha, especially them getting the Nine Tails back in their possession. And with the proper training, we could potentially see her use the Nine Tails chakra in her own unique way, because she does have a different fighting style than her father. So she'd probably use KCM to massively increase the attack potency of her gentle fist ability, or maybe some other ability she has yet to reveal. I mean, all this time she was training, I wouldn't hold it past her to learn a new ability. But let me know what you guys think about us giving up a hypothetical KCM amp to Himawari. Do you feel Boruto should have inherited the Nine Tails power instead of Himawari? Or are you happy Himawari got the power she deserves and could potentially play a big role in the story? I'm interested in knowing how you guys also felt initially when it was revealed that Himawari was the Jujutsu of the Nine Tails, because I know how controversial of a topic this was. But like always, if you liked the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this in the future. But without further ado, I appreciate everyone who made it until the end of the video. And until my next one, I'm out. Peace.